All right, the president's up on Capitol Hill right now meeting with Senate Republicans, trying to keep everybody in line and a united front on this. But this is already beginning to fray off typical Republican allies. The Chamber of Commerce wanting to urge the president, both sides, to get this wrapped up so the government can resume operating and government workers and contractors can get back to life or normal life, whatever that is. To Home Depot co-founder Bernie Marcus. Bernie, the president is saying it's all about security and all. Do you think in retrospect, however people feel about that, maybe however you feel about it, attaching it to the government and whether it stays open or not was a calculated mistake?
Well, no, I don't know whether the timing was right. I believe he should have done it in February when they were coming up with the budget again, because it would give him more time to make the case for why he wants to do it. But I don't think that somewhere along the line, look, this has been a problem with Clinton as the president, with Bush as the president, Obama. They all know there's a problem with the border. Every single one of them. And Schumer's made dozens of speeches talking about securing the border. In fact, as your last speaker said, or one of your last speakers, they actually approved $50 billion for a wall. My question is, why are you, Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, now all of a sudden, for this small amount compared to the $50 billion, why are you now saying no? It's all political as far as I'm concerned. And meanwhile, things are happening in the United States. Something the president didn't hit on that I think he should have done a better job on. It is estimated that 70,000 people in the United States died of overdoses in the last year. That's 70,000 people that died of overdoses. And that means that there were tens of thousands of people that had overdoses that didn't die. It's gotten so bad in local and communities all around the country that police cars now carry Narcan, where they can't wait for the ambulances because they're losing the people. Some schools are putting it in their schools. I mean, the drug issue is so bad, and 90% of the heroin is coming from over the border. So, my God, if that's not something that Nancy Pelosi and Schumer are concerned about, what the hell are you concerned about?
Well, I guess
you're
all of that is
about
out there, though, Bernie. But I'm trying real hard on both the right and left to avoid the political finger-pointing here. Your comments are certainly justified. I've heard them from others who are equally passionate. But I wonder whether attaching government funding, in other words, keeping the government doors open, even though 3/4 of the government is open, was the way to go about it, because that just built intransigence on both sides. Whatever people's meritorious views on this subject, for or against, that it just locked people into positions. We're not going to give an inch because he is attaching this to a shutdown. What do you think?
Well, no, listen, I don't agree with every tactic that he uses. Maybe there was something else that he had leverage on, but for him, this is leverage. And in order to make a deal, he's using this as leverage. Look, there are a lot of people being hurt by this. There are a lot of 800,000 people are not going to get their salaries, that live from week to week. I mean, I really feel for these people. But I don't know whether Congress will act on anything. They have now taken a position that if it's a Republican issue, we're not going to participate. We're not going to give you anything you want, no matter how right you are. And I think that, unfortunately, I don't know that he's made this position strong enough to the American people.
So tee up the next 2 years. Tee up the next 2 years then, Bernie. I mean, the Chamber of Commerce is where the business stops, that progress on crucial issues to the business community stops. It's not reflected, obviously, in the markets today, buoyed by optimism. We're going to get a trade deal with China, separate issue. But what do you make of that? The argument that this is going to be a preview of coming attractions where nothing is getting done.
Then I say, then fold the way everybody else has folded. Fold the way Obama folded. Fold the way Clinton folded. Fold the way Bush folded, and you get nothing done. Sooner or later, look, this guy's a businessman, and he knows that something has to be done. Innately, he knows it's the right thing to do. And look, I understand it's going to have an effect on lots of businesses, agriculture. It's going to have on commerce. But, you know, isn't that the leverage that he's using? Why don't those people write letters to Schumer and Nancy Pelosi instead of writing it to Trump? as you heard from them, they've come out with 40 different ways to solve this situation. You don't want to sit down and negotiate. Honestly, you can't get anything done. And I think that they're being intransigent about it. I think they don't want to do anything to let this president have credit for anything. This is not an American issue. 70,000 people dying in the United States of overdosing. Is that political? Is that a Democratic or a Republican issue? It's an American issue, for crying out loud. You act on it. Do something reasonable for once in your life and stop playing politics.
Do you think a wall is the answer?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've been to Israel many times, and I'm sure you have. And what happened with Jerusalem and what happened with Tel Aviv, I could tell you the wall has stopped the bombings. I don't know if it's 99.9%, but I know that there was bombings frequently. They put the wall up and it stopped the bombings. Now, to say that this is going to solve the problem, no, the Israelis use a lot of things. They use a lot of detection.
Right.
It's a question of a fence or a wall or whatever you want to call this thing, but it also means other things. It means having the right kind of police, the Border Patrol, being enough Border Patrol to take care of this issue.
But that should be in the mix. Well, I got you, Bernie. I'm sorry to jump on you, my friend. I did want to get your take, since I always respect it, on just the economy, the business environment right now. It's been a crazy time for the markets. They're putting together their fourth gain in a row here. We haven't seen that since last fall. What do you make of the environment right now?
Well, I think, look, from the business standpoint, we have the lowest unemployment we've had for years. We have more job creation than we've had for years. We have the lowest unemployment in the Hispanic and the black community that we've ever had. We've got more people working than we have for years. I mean, I would say from a standpoint of a businessman looking at it non-politically, that the economy's in great shape. You can't look at the vagaries of the market. The market is schizophrenic, controlled by algorithms. Yeah, but I mean, and from the business standpoint, I think that most people are doing very, very well. I know the small businesses are growing. We have more small businesses forming in the United States. More people are being employed in small businesses. So many of the things that he's doing are really coming up positive for the United States. And I think that looking at it from that standpoint, and I know people get so upset by what he says. If they just started looking at what he's accomplished and stop looking at what he says and what he tweets, I think you'll see that this man has accomplished a hell of a lot more than most people thought he would.
All right, Bernie, it's always good seeing you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.